Do you know what's wrong is that what's wrong with you is that you're trapped in someone else's story. Owning the narrative means owning the narrative, and that you can choose who the owner of your own narrative is by choosing it to be your own and to be your own hero. You realize that they have no control at all. Absolutely none. And you have to be free of it first before you can really understand quite how empowering that is for an individual to grasp as a piece of knowledge. And I would urge you to grasp it, because it's our way out of this madness that we're trapped in. It's Werner Heisenberg's nightmare. This is what it feels like. In a way, I think this is our forgiveness, right? I hadn't thought about this. That the suffering, all this suffering that we have endured as a species, we deserve it. We deserve it because of what we've done, right? We've allowed a society, look around you, we've allowed a society to exist in which paedophilia is becoming normalized. People are talking about it and thinking about it all the time. And the worst of us are just pushed towards acting in that way. And I say the worst of us because we are doing it. Do you understand? If a single individual is carrying out an act of paedophilia, and what I mean by that is it's coercive control. You can, this is helpful, I think. It's painful, but it's worth thinking about. That we're all children. I'm a child inside me. I'm that child of wonder I was, little nature boy. And so if someone is using coercive control techniques on me, it's that part of me that they're attacking, the soft and vulnerable part of me that is really me, that I really love, because that's my center. I need that person for me, because it was all my effort that built that little foundation for my lovely little self. Yeah. And it's guiding children towards that knowledge that gives you a real platform. And so if we all stand on that platform of understanding of the connection between coercive control and paedophilia, if you have carried out an act of coercive control, of manipulation on anybody to take their energy, then that is an act of paedophilia, because this is the child that we remain that is being attacked. It's an energy attack. Because now we know the energy cycle and how it works, and I explained in another video about how the bonding between humans through generations is the key to a society that functions successfully, because they're making homes. The older generation makes homes in the younger generation for its energy to nest in, if you like, to lay the egg of information in, to prepare the hereditary heir for your energy. And so that's the key to meaning of life. Right? It's really hard, and I'm going to keep this one in there. This has been happening recently. Listen to the way that I speak, and the way the information comes out of me. What you're experiencing is me surfing a wave. I have a technique where I catch the information through all the techniques now of these years that I've built up. 10 years of work. This is really accelerating recently, incredibly so. But yeah, I stand on the foundation of all my previous work, known and unknown, it turns out. And then I lose my thread. So I'm really catching something lovely. I'm really going to make a, I'm going to nail it. I'm going to nail it. It's the quest of the one. Everyone who achieves a state of enlightenment thinks they're the one. Oh, I've got something that, oh my God, everyone's got to know this. Right? Yeah, absolutely get it. Right? I've done that. But got a t-shirt, show you the scars, mentally and physically, from that, taking that stance. But it's an essential one in some ways. It was for me because it went, no, I'm fucking right. This is right. There's something in this that's so profound. Immediately I found it. And I found it through that technique. And so these videos are, in some ways, see them as a training video. What you're looking at here in those videos is my protein trying to learn this technique and to ride it for longer, surfing it, because it is a wave. It's that particle wave duality, which is currently inexplicable. It's all a weird mystery. I wonder what the answer is. Let's spend every fucking penny this planet earns for the last 100 years and murder fucking millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people, make them all suffer in the process. Or we could call in some engineers and they can sort it out for us, and it'll cost us fuck all. So see them as that, right? So when I'm not making sense, it's because I've dropped back into protein mode. My protein triggers, there are all sorts of triggers. The information that I found, I'm not supposed to have. It's secret information. It's supposed to be secret, but that's the problem. It's no use as a secret. It has to be shared. It's useless alone. This is the beautiful part of the story where it ties into the Lord of the Rings, because a story that was dear to my heart through my whole life. Yeah, long before it was popular, I guess, sort of as popular and well known as it is now. It was a cultish kind of a thing, but it was a real thing of wonder and beauty to the child of nature, little nature boy. That's why my mother read me the stories. So that's been my story, and now it's your story. Because the lesson that I learned from the Lord of the Rings was that you don't hold the power. Don't wield the power. If you're holding the ring of power, you don't fucking use it. You don't use it. Yeah, you use it for strength for yourself. Knowing the existence, knowing that the ring of power actually exists. Yeah, and reaching a stage of enlightenment to understand that the ring of power exists is the key to knowing something of yourself, the magic. There's something's wrong here from what science is telling us, yeah? And like significantly wrong. The only way you're going to get away with a lie as big as that is to make it really massive. And you must look at this piece of information, please, because it's going to seal the deal for you in terms of the size of the lie, and then you're going to want answers. I saw a video that the head of the Russian NASA, the space agency of Russia, the equivalent of NASA in Russia, had a moment of enlightenment and was asking questions, unapproved topics. Once you know unapproved topics, man, you just stumble up, you find them everywhere. And so he got stonewalled. Right? Now, immediately, that was the last plank for me. I did a video when I was much more crazy, and about the moon, right? And I said, you did not, and I made myself be certain. So that video is me experimenting here in certainty. I demanded of myself that I take a stance on whether they did or did not land on the moon, okay? And everything was pointing towards they did not, because it's a dimensional entity. I don't know what it is. I think it's the dust coating on ice. Okay? It's what we see, what we perceive. The perception is that, because it isn't actually there, that it exists. It's the North Pole. It's the ice in the planet. It's just we can see it because it's a dimensional entity. It has a different perspective. So But the piece of information that I was missing was I didn't understand why the Russians wouldn't say, no, America, no, you didn't land on the moon. Yeah. If it was true that there was a war going on, a Cold War going on, a real one, where people really hated each other, it would be, if the Russians knew that the Americans hadn't landed on the moon, they would have said, oi, sunshine, that's crazy. What about the cosmonauts coming back from space and they're fucked? Have you seen it? Right. So this was key. And so they say that when the cosmonauts, when they actually came back from space, were knackered, really, really exhausted. Their bodies were destroyed. It took them ages to come back to adjust to the gravity. And that makes absolute sense to me in terms of my understanding of gravity, what it would do if you mess around with it in terms of your location dimensionally, because you're stretching, your real time is stretched considerably, and you're going to experience a different perception of everything. So now I know. So if the head of NASA, if the head of the Russian NASA can't find the information and gets stonewalled, it's a con. It's a cover-up. There's the conspiracy. The conspiracy. So I'm naming it as that's it. And I just urge you to look at all the information about the moon landings and say, fuck me, I think that might actually be right. We did not land on the moon. And at the moment you can arrive in your head, at that point, reality has just punched you in the face with the size of the lie. So you've got to deal with it. It's your job. Don't worry about it, is my advice. If I was you, I would trust me absolutely implicitly, because I really do seem to know what I'm talking about. And I do. And I love you, and I want you to be happy, and make me the king of the world, and I'll give you a planet of glory in a year. In hours, the moment that you make the decision in your heart to make me your captain and trust me as your captain, okay, then everything will be fine. I'm flying the spaceship, and I'll make the decisions. But you'll see everything. You'll see everything that I do and look at and see and observe and make decisions about. And there'll be opportunities for you to input into me so I can make a decision on whether that piece of information is any use or not. Because ultimately, someone has to be in command. Yeah. The cruelty, the Cain mutiny, two texts that should be essential reading for all managers if you want to understand what it is to be a manager. To be in command of people's lives and to have to make decisions about people's lives is the most impossible situation to place someone in. But it's also the best position to place someone in, because it means that they can take responsibility for their actions and their decisions. The actual worst place to place somebody is in a gas chamber where you're going to murder them with lots of other people. That's the worst place, because then they have no choice about what's about to happen to them. But you see the same choice and decision making can be there as well. So that in the very worst place that a human being can be, in my heart, I know that I would make the same decision. If I was Esther, I am Stella Esther Rademeisler. I died in a gas chamber in Auschwitz. I was 4. I knelt in the corner because my mother had told me. And if I was frightened, I should pray. And I was frightened. I was frightened. But well, I just knelt in the corner. What could I do? What could I do? Nothing. Nothing. Everyone around me, I could feel them. And when I knelt in the corner, I felt something happen to me. And I felt something amazing. It was the most incredible experience. It was the most wonderful thing. I felt a light inside me. And the people were praying around me. I think they could see the light. In the darkness was me as I prayed. Oh, fuck. So, captain of the ship, I just thought, as an offer, right? It seems silly to me. We really could choose this. If we go and carry on, we're going to die. If we do what I say, we'll live on a planet of glory, and we'll love each other and be excellent to each other. And I think we're going to enter the golden age. This is how you create on the cycle of the Veda. There is an opportunity within the cycle of time in which we are to create a golden age where people live for 10,000 years. Okay, so just look at the history of the Veda. I suggest, because that's the truth. The perfection of the truth is the Veda. Go and do some work. It's up to you. Yeah, again, up to you. So, and then at any point you want to say, Reynolds, yeah, you run it. Yeah, Reynolds is in charge. Just Reynolds is the captain. Deal with it. Yeah, a eunuch has risen from the ranks of the peasantry, is what has occurred. That my protein chassis is a eunuch, and I shouldn't be having sex. I shouldn't be, because I've never understood the role of consciousness. And you just can't have sex until you understand consciousness. It's as simple as that. Because it's masturbatory and rape. It's rape. But you're forgiven for all the acts of sexual activity that you've had, and up to the point we've heard this video, because it wasn't your fault. You don't know. Nobody trained you. Okay, quite the opposite. You've been corrupted so far away from even to reaching this piece of information I'm trying to give you, that you won't even pick it up, even if I promised you the possibility of 10,000 living for 10,000 years on a planet of glory. And it's about resting and breathing and just nurturing gently, everything gentle. We're going too fast, people, you idiots. We're racing through life pointlessly. And this is the point, it's pointless. We're as stupid as the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the kings of the tyrant lizards. It just didn't fucking understand. It's boring. Fucking boring. Big fucking dinosaurs walking around eating massive other dinosaurs, for 10,000 years. It's fucking, the planet looks beautiful. The place of fucking glory, the planet. Yeah, in the Cretaceous period. Fucking lovely place. Gentle, calm, perfect for evolution. And that's what we're going to do. If we control the atmosphere, we control the evolution of the planet. That's climate change, my friends. It's fast. We've got it. Reynolds has got it. Just say it. All right, Reynolds, you've got it. Run the ship. Give it a go. I promise you, if I fail, I'll kill myself. Yeah. And failure to me will be not failing. everything will be a disaster. There'll be disasters everywhere, because these are the episodes of Star Trek world that we're going to do. This is my plan. This is my proposal. You can choose this instead, right? So that's what all I'm trying to do, is lay a path of glory for you on the table, so you know what you're. I want you to know really what's on the table, and then you can make a clear choice yourself, a referendum in your head. I know it's going to be tight, 52, 48, who knows? Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, in that middle ground. But you've got to hold the middle ground until you've got the evidence. Just hold that middle centre. Yeah. Smart place to be in a 52-48 split is in the middle, because you're going to get all the information from both ways. If you hold a position either way, fucked. That's why it's so difficult. A polarised society is that's why it's so hard to live in a polarised society. The middle ground is narrow, but it's there. It's easy there. You just stand on morality. It's easy. Easy. They can do nothing. If at some point I'm going to ask somebody, right, to look at a piece of evidence of something that happened to me, in light of suffering and dealing with suffering, and how you treat it, and how not to be a victim, how not to be coercively controlled, a demonstration of self-control and self-restraint in terms of refusing to be a victim. It's the lesson of Stella Esther, isn't it? There was a video about it. It's the foundation of my faith, the new faith that I've built, because I believe I found a faith that we can all cultures can stand on. That's what I've been looking for, and that everyone just readjusts their centres to this faith at the bottom end, so we understand what faith is. It's defined. Again, it's language control. The word faith must be defined, and I'm going to say it's believing that the experience that I've described of that one death, and consequently all our deaths, I've expressed there, and the hope that when we face our death, we will have the same courage that Stella showed. And I'm certain that I will. Certain that I will. And that's a beautiful feeling. That's the faith. So it's an easy faith to hold, because you can prove it to yourself through a huge backlog of evidence. Once we un-Heisenberg everything, just can excise anything Heisenberg, excise it, and then let's see what's left. Don't throw out Heisenberg's away. We might need something from that. Yeah, just reference it all up so we know it's come from, but just remove it entirely. Anything connected with Heisenberg, I want it gone. Reference, and then let's see. You have a look at it. You, everybody, you think you're so smart, yeah, with all your money and your funding. Have a look at what I've done on nothing. Yeah, little I can conjure up. One man can change the world. That has been my goal. My goal. I have the thesis of everything to prove that I am a man of destiny. So deal with it. I know that you're serving under the finest captain, right? I intend to be. Right? I hold myself, right, to be judged by my future captain. Right? I am going to meet. This is the next episode. Fucking right. I know this is low on care now. So this is the next episode. I'm going to prove how this technique works as your captain. It's a demonstration of control. I'm trying to master how you control yourself as a human being, and I think it's a good idea that I'm filmed. You just film me all the time, because what I'm trying to do is complete my experiment, so that you can see where I'm going. I'll never complete it, but I believe I'm at the leading edge of anthropological behaviour control, and I've got all the information I need to start acting on that. But as I start acting on it, I'll start learning more, and I'll be changing, and there'll be information flying off of me, and I want people to pick that information up and go and run with it. If I'm not You know, it doesn't matter, just pick it up. If I'm running with it, I don't care if you're running with it, that's fine. If you want to work with me, whatever, don't care. If I've just thought of something and dumped it, or it's been an offshoot, a tangent, I hadn't even thought about what I'd said, but somebody else jumps on it, I want those ones picked up or available to be picked up. The idea is we build the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's an interactive page. It's Wikipedia. Wikipedia is controlled by the 600s, in terms of language control. That's where we start. So you want to know, if you want to know what anything is, what is this? You look into the language control document. There's a word and there's a definition against it. Okay, and then there's a set of controls about input into that information and provenance, so that you can put anything in there at certain levels, and you can track this down through, and you can trace everything to your own satisfaction about any piece of information that you want. And you can judge its provenance as you travel down any tile from that perspective, right? And then we build up the Library of Alexandria again, and we link together everything that we know to this one single the 600s Wikipedia page, knowing that it's controlled by the 600, and that we have an input into it and an output. Nice little feedback loop that should be really cheap to easy to run, Zoom meeting style technology. Fuck all, yeah, because it's self-policed. Everything in my system is self-policed by your own judgment of your own excellence. I'm just telling you, I'm the king. As Prince of Wales, in my kingdom, my proclamation is that everyone must be excellent. If you're behaving excellently, you're one of my subjects. Yeah, you're mine. You're my heart, and I die for you. And anything happens to you, if there was something I could do for a subject of mine who is behaving excellently all the time, I would do it. If they said to me, "Oh, Martin, I need something," and I go, "Oh, that's reasonable. Yeah, that accommodates and everything," and I say yes. Now, in that conversation, you can have that conversation in your head with me, or who I'm symbolising as me, the Prince of Wales, as the personhood of royalty that I am, is the morality that I am. So my behaviour as a protein is a bit suspect at times, but nonetheless, it always stands on the same morality. Well, yeah. See, and then that's forgiveness, so that you then judge your sins and your shame. When you're looking at your behaviour, judging your sins, you're judging your sins against something really certain. And so if you just trust me to run the ship, it means you can forget about that and then just trust, if you want to, or come and have a go, yeah, if you think you're hard enough. Because there's a smart way. If you want to educate yourself up, you can get on a bridge. Yeah, fucking hell, that's the way to go. The whole system's just education. If you trust your education system is pushing the smartest people into the right positions, then you can just go great. So the control of people is the control of language, and the control of language is then education. Right? So if you're deciding to set a planet up, then you must have the lingua franca must be absolutely specific, so that we all know we're standing in the same place, and that we then just link our cultures through to the defined word, and it must be a word, and it therefore must be in a language, and that language is English. I'm just claiming it because Michael told me to. The angels told me that it was English, because the language, the way the letters are built up, the symbolism that lies behind everything in English is just, and I'm not saying it's better or worse. That this symbolism of course, it's in all languages, but the way that it works, and in terms of the way that engineering works, the language is perfect for me. Okay? So that's why I'm picking it, because the engineer really runs Star Trek world. So you have to stand on the engineering first, and then you can have all the fun. So really the captain of the ship is Scotty. So there you go. Have I said enough there? I don't know. They're funny, aren't they, these little moments that we're sharing now? This is how I view it. The certainty that this information I have is correct is beyond beyond anything that you can ever imagine for me. And therefore I know that it'll get picked up one day. It might be in the next 10 minutes. It might be in 10,000 years. I don't care. Makes no difference to me. But I do think it's a shame that you don't know what's on the table. That's right, that's what I was talking about. Brilliant, right, I'll wrap up. So, they're funny, aren't they? They're just funny. All I'm doing is just letting, trying to show you what genius is. It's not me, it's the flow, it's surfing. So you surf genius and you receive information. These are just proteins. Potential, it's just potential. You've got to choose to give your protein the maximum potential, and then you get the maximum energy. And then when you die, you use that maximum energy because you've made a nest in the younger generation ready for the laying of your energy as you die, as you take into the energy of the young people that you've influenced throughout your life in a positive way. And you live there in harmony, and everyone knows it, because when it happens to the kids, they know what's going on. They don't go, oh, what's happening? I feel different. I feel strange. No, it's just, this is normal. This is what we do. And that's one of those cemented pieces of information that we just cement. This is what we do. And we understand that we don't have sex until we've been educated into the consciousness. That's abuse. Nobody wants to be raping anybody, and we want to be behaving excellently. So it's really important we understand what the sexual etiquette. Absolutely vital. Again, linked to the language. So, tune in for the next episode. Who knows what may happen? Yeah, I might even get the dog in next time. Right, love rules. Do the work. Cheers.